Hello and welcome to Science classes. So in this lesson we are going to read chapter number 9 of NCERT. On food and rent, and the rest I save for my family. I visit my village 2 or 3 times a year to see my family. Though my family survives on the money I send, my wife also earns from the agricultural work that she gets once in a while. Why did Bachu Manji come to the city? Why can't Bachu Manji live with his family? Talk to a vegetable vendor or hawker and find out how do they organize their work, their way of preparing, purchasing, selling, etc. Bachu Manji has to think twice before taking a day off from work. Why? Like Bachu Manji, a large number of people in the city work on their streets. In a survey of Ahmedabad city was found that 12% of all the workers in the city were people working on the streets. They sometimes sell things or repair them or provide a service. They work on their own. They are not employed by anyone and therefore have to organize their own work. They have to plan how much to purchase as well as where and how to set up their shops. Their shops are usually temporary structures, sometimes just some boards or paper spread over discarded boxes or maybe a canvas sheet hung up on a few poles. They may also use their own carts or simply a plastic sheet spread on the pavement. They can be asked to dismantle their shops at any time by police and they have no security. There are certain parts of the city where these hawkers are not allowed to enter. Vendors sell things that are often prepared at home by their families who purchases clean, sort and make them ready to sell. For example, those who sell food or snacks on the streets prepare most of these at home. So here you will see often workers who make a living in the city are forced to set up their homes on a street as well. Below is a space where several workers leave their belongings during the day and cook their meals at night. So here you will see this picture. There are almost 1 crore street vendors in the country working in urban areas, and street vending was till recently looked upon only as an obstruction to traffic and to people walking. However, with the efforts of many organizations, it is now recognized as general benefit and as a right of people to earn their livelihood. The government is thinking about modifying the law that bans street vendors so that they have a place to work and that there is also free flow of traffic and people. Hawking zones have been suggested for towns and cities. It has also been suggested that mobile vendors should be allowed to move around freely. Hawkers need to be a part of communities that are set up to take these and other decisions relating to them in the market. When we reached the market, the shops were just beginning to open, but the place was already crowded because of the festival seasons, and there were rows and rows of shops selling sweets, toys, clothes, footwear, utensils, electronic goods, etc. And there was a dentist clinic also at one end. My cousin had an appointment with the dentist and we went there first so that we would not miss our turn. We had to wait for a while in a room before she was called inside. The dentist examined her and asked her to come back the following day to get a cavity in her tooth filled. My cousin was scared because she thought the process would be painful and was upset that she had allowed her teeth to go bad. So, from the dental clinic, she took me to a new garment showroom because I wanted to buy some ready made clothes, and the showroom had 3 floors. Each floor had different types of clothes. We went to the third floor where clothes for girls were kept. So, here you will see another picture where the girl is showing these plates. She must be a sales girl. So Harpreet and Vandana, business person. So my father and uncle worked in a small shop during festival time and on Sundays my mother and I helped them in a shop. I started working there only after I completed my college. Harpreet. We opened this showroom some years ago. I am dress designer. Our business has changed. These days people prefer to buy ready-made clothes rather than have them stitched. The trend these days is for ready-made garments. You also need an attractive display for them. Vandana. For our showrooms, we buy things from different places. We buy most of the materials from Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Ludhiana, and Tripura. Some materials also come from Noida and Gurgaon towns near Delhi. We get some dresses items from foreign countries too. There are several things we need to do to run this showroom properly. We advertise in various newspapers, cinema theaters, television, and radio channels. Currently, this building is rented, but soon we plan to buy it. Ever since this market has become the main market for people living in the surrounding apartments, our business has grown. We have been able to buy a car and book a flat in apartment complex nearby. Why did Harpreet and Vandana start a showroom. What do they have to do to run the showroom? Talk to a shop owner in a market and find out how he plans his work. Have there been any changes in his business in the past 20 years? What are the differences between those who sell on the street and those in the market? Like Harpreet and Vandana, there are many people who own shops in various markets of the city. These shops may be small or large and they sell different things. Most businesses persons manage their own shops or businesses and they are not employed by anyone, but they do employ a number of other workers as supervisors and helpers. These are permanent shops that are given license to do business by the municipal corporation. The municipal corporation also decides on which day of the week the market has to remain closed. For example, the shop in the above market are closed on Wednesdays. This market also has small offices and shops that provide services such as banks, courier services, and others. In the factory workshop area, I wanted to have zari work done on one of my dresses which I needed for a special occasion. My cousin said that she knew Nirmala who works in a garment factory and Nirmala's neighbors do zari work and embroidery. So we caught a bus and headed towards the factory area. The bus was really crowded. At every stop, more and more people got on and hardly anyone seems to get off. People were pushing others to make more space for themselves. My cousin guided me to corners so that we wouldn't get squashed. I wondered how people travel like this every day. As the bus entered the factory areas, people started getting off. We also got off soon at crossing. What a relief that was! There were a large number of people sitting on railings or in the groups at the crossing. They seemed to be waiting for someone. Some groups had people on scooters standing by and talking with them. My cousin explained that this place was called Labor Chowk and these were daily wage laborers who work as helpers to masons. They dig at construction sites, lift loads or unload trucks in the market, dig pipelines and telephone cables, and also build roads. There are thousands of such casual workers in the city. So here you will see at labor show, daily wage workers wait with their tools for people to come and take them for work. So we entered the factory area to find it full of small workshops. There seemed to be endless rows of them. In one section, we saw people working in a small room on sewing machines where clothes was being stitched. One person operated one sewing machine. Clothes that had been stitched were stacked on one side of the room. So we located Nirmala in a stitching unit. She was happy to meet my cousin and promised to get zari work done on my dress. Nirmala works as a tailor in an expert garment unit and the factory where she works makes summer clothes for people in foreign countries like USA, UK, Germany, and the Netherlands. Workers like Nirmala have to work a very long hour in the months from December to April. A normal working day begins at 9 a.m. and finishes only by 10 p.m., sometimes even later. She works for 6 days a week. At times when the work needs to be done urgently, she works on Sunday 2. Nirmala is paid rupees 80 days for 8 hours and rupees 40 extra for working late. By June, the work is over and factory reduces its staff. Nirmala will also be asked to leave. For about 3 or 4 months in the year, there is no work for her. Most workers like Nirmala are employed on what is known as casual basis. They are required to. So here you will see her photograph. So most workers like Nirmala are employed on what is known as casual basis, that is they are required to work and come as and when the employer needs them. They are employed when the employer gets large orders or during certain seasons. At other times of the year, they have to find some other work. Jobs like Nirmala are not permanent. If workers complain about their pay or working conditions, they are asked to leave. There is no job security or protection if there is ill treatment. They are also expected to work very long hours. For example, in the cloth mill units, the workers work on day and night shifts with each shift lasting 12 hours. One worker works on one machine for 12 hours and then is replaced by another on the same machine for the next 12 hours. So first question is, why do you think small workshops and factories employ casual workers? Second question is, describe the working conditions of people like Nirmala, keeping in mind the following: working hours, conditions in the workplace, earnings, and the days of the work available. The third is, would you say that domestic workers like housemaids are also casual workers? Why? Describe the workday of one such woman, detailing the work she does in other people's houses. So here you will see a picture where you will see people sitting in front of their the computers are there, and they are like headphones are there and they are talking. So what is this? It is called as business process outsourcing. So working in a call center is a new form of employment in the big cities. A call center is a centralized office that deals with problems and questions that customers have regarding goods purchased and services like banking, ticket booking, etc. Call centers are generally set up as large rooms with workstations that include a computer, a telephone set, and supervisor stations. India has become a major center not only for Indian companies but also foreign companies, and they set up call centers here as they can get people who can speak English and will work for lower wages. So in the office area, my aunt Sudha works as the marketing manager. She had asked us to reach her office before 5:30 p.m. So we thought we had get late, so we took an auto rickshaw that managed to get us there just in time. So her office was in an area surrounded by tall buildings. There were hundreds of people coming out, and some headed for a car park while others went towards the row of buses. My aunt is a marketing manager in a company which manufactures biscuits. The factory where the biscuits are made in outside the city, and she supervises the work of 50 salespersons who travel to different parts of the city, and they get orders from shopkeepers and collect payments from them. She has divided the city into 6 regions, and once a week she meets the salesperson of each region. She checks their progress report and discuss problems they face. She has to plan the sales in entire city and often has to work late and travel to different places. She gets a regular salary every month and is a permanent worker with the company. She can expect her job to continue for a long period of time. Being a permanent worker, she also gets other benefits such as following: like saving for old age. A part of her salary is kept in a fund with the government. She will earn interest on these savings. When she retires from this job, she will get this money and she can then live on that. Holidays, she gets off on Sundays and national holidays. She also gets some days as annual leave. Medical facilities. So for her family, her company pays the medical expenses up to a certain amount for her and her family members. She gets medical leave if she falls ill, and her salary is not cut if she takes these leaves. There are many workers in the city who work in offices, factories, and government departments where they are employed as regular and permanent workers. They attend some same office or factory regularly, and their work is clearly identified. They get a regular salary. Unlike casual workers, they will not be asked to leave if the factory does not have much work. At the end of the day, we got into my aunt's car exhausted, but it had been so much fun, and I thought, how interesting that so many people do so many different things in the city and they have probably never met each other, but it is their work that ties them together and helps to make up city life. So here there are few questions, so let's read those questions and try to answer them. So with this we have come to an end of this chapter. Do hit the like button, do subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned, and we will meet in the next chapters. Thank you so much for listening.